Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Call of Duty 1. So, this level, this level is the level that people always refer to as that level. I really like the way Skillness put it when we were talking before the recording, in that, this is the level where they forgot they weren't making Wolfenstein 3D all over again. It's really kind of bad, and I'll be happy to have it over. So, along with me, watching me suffer is...
Hey everybody, it's the last Robokai, and I'm really looking forward to this because, like in previous Let's Plays, we've talked about hyping up levels and how, this is the best level in the game, etc. It's finally great to just sit back and go, well, this is the worst level in the game. I've been hyped down so much.
There's nothing that could possibly go wrong. And also, back with us is...
Hi, I'm Skillness62, and I'm just glad that I'm not the one playing this.
Yeah, as well you should be. So, yeah, I will warn everybody before we get started. You probably have turned down the volume on these videos a little bit. I would encourage you to have your finger on the trigger for that, because at about 5 minutes in, there is going to be a klaxon and loudspeaker startup, and it's not going to stop the entire mission. It'll be extremely annoying. So, with that caveat, let's get started.
All right, settle down. We got new orders straight from SOE, as well as 2 new transfers from the 6th Airborne to help us carry them out. They were highly recommended for this operation as a result of their actions on D-Day. Captain Price, Sergeant Evans, welcome to 3 Troop. Now, let's get down to business. These are the locations of the major hydroelectric dams in the Ruhr industrial region of Germany. Their main purpose is to provide electrical power to the factories and cities throughout the area. Last year, a clever fellow by the name of Dr. Barnes Wallace created an odd sort of bomb that was specially designed to breach these dams. Using these bombs, the dam busters from 617 Squadron successfully breached the Mona and Eder dams, causing extensive flooding and damage to the industrial heart of Germany. The bad news is the bastards have already repaired the damage done, and Bomber Command wants to have another crack at these targets. This is the Eder Dam. We're to make a night drop on this one. From the DZ, it's a day's tab through unpopulated areas around the dam's reservoir. Dropping in any closer is impossible, as the enemy flak is simply too concentrated around the dam itself. Our mission is to locate as many of these anti-air guns as possible, wipe them out so that the bombers can make their runs. This building at the foot of the dam houses the electrical generators. Our orders are to blow this structure in the event that the bombers fail to breach the dam. We set the explosives on a short timer, then get the hell out of there by truck to a nearby airfield and appropriate suitable air transport from the enemy. You all know what to do. Check and test your magazines, zero your sights, and review the maps and photographs carefully. We'll receive signals and embarkation details within the next 2 hours. Good luck.
Not even to not mention that the only people that actually survived that were Price and Evans.
So the dam itself, it starts you off with a scoped Kar 98K and a Sten submachine gun. You will pretty quickly see me get rid of both of these guns.
You're impressed already. I'm just terrible at sniping moving targets in these sorts of games.
It's not really that terribly impressive. But regarding the map, that strategic map that we had, Skellness, I think you had something to say about how accurate or inaccurate those were?
Yeah, before we started recording, I asked to check what the date was, and certainly as far as my historical awareness goes, that the situational map of Europe was accurate for early September, which is supposedly when this raid is taking place.
Yep, the pre-mission bump said it was September 2nd, 1944. So, points to Infinity Ward for that one.
I just like this drive-by TNTing going on here. Evans just slapping it down and keeping on running. Not that you'd hang around, it's just interesting. He hasn't missed a step.
I'm channeling Cyrus.
It's the boob time.
Oh yeah, there's some more Germans over there. This is one of the only 2 times that the sniper rifle is really useful in this mission. The other one is at the foot of the dam, but it takes so long to get out there that I'll probably end up just dropping it.
Yeah, well, it sets up a really, like, in the same way that machine gun position is a really good killing field, you've only got one direction that they can really come down on you from, so...
Right. And, you know, a braver person would probably try to snipe that guy, but I am not brave.
You're also armed with the grenades. Sometimes the brave and the clever are not the same thing.
So yeah, the Sten submachine gun, I hate this fucking thing.
As did everyone who used it, so you're not alone there.
Looks like someone strapped, like, a trigger and, like, a magazine to the side of a pipe.
That's actually not too far from the truth.
No, that is the truth.
That's what it is.
Literally, the Sten was designed when Britain was really in the shit after Dunkirk, and it was designed that literally anyone who was able to build plumbing supplies or metal pipes would be able to build it in their garage. And that was literally the design document for it.
They needed submachine guns.
Yeah, as it turned out, of course, Britain didn't get invaded, but the whole very simplicity of the design meant that most of the resistance movements in occupied Europe then used it. You often see local copies, of which Polish copies manufactured during the Warsaw Uprising are normally the most famous ones. But from memory, I think about 2 million were made.
Ein MG-42-Trupp. Sagen Sie den Kommandostab draußen an. Sie sollen Verstärkung schicken.
Coming up here, there is a cool note.
Schutz nehmen!
So the call out you just heard there, my translator made a serious point about saying how hilariously awful that call out was. The German said "Schutz nehmen," which literally translates into "take cover," but colloquially ends up translating into either like "pick up cover," like pick it up off the ground, or "take protection," with the implication that you're talking about a condom.
Oh dear. No, there's nothing I can add to that. That is basically something that writes itself.
Yeah.
Once again, Infinity Ward get close but no cigar as regards their historical accuracy.
It really was.
You would have thought, though, they would get a native speaker just to check these things to avoid the Chinese tattoo effect.
You would think.
Sie sind vom britischen SAS. Nehmt keine Gefangenen. Ich wiederhole, keine Gefangenen.
And there was actually another really cool note that the loudspeaker just mentioned there. Keine Gefangenen. That is no prisoners. which is apparently also extremely historical when you're dealing with SAS commandos.
Yeah, after the very successful raids on Norway and France in 1941 by British commandos, the German High Command essentially decreed that under no circumstances were British commandos to be taken prisoner. And this was then sort of carried forward to the SAS once the SAS came into its being as the war raiding force.
More trouble than they were worth.
Eindringlinge, Sektor 6, Ebene B entdeckt.
This entire level is an interesting mix of medium and short range. So that's why I picked up the MP44, because on single shot mode it's a very competent rifle, but I can still turn it over to auto mode and have it useful in close quarters.
And you'll never be lacking of bodies to take more ammo from.
Yeah, that's one of the big things that go into my thinking here. I dropped the Sten partially because it's an awful gun, but partially also because, I mean, once I run out of ammo for that, that's it. I'm done. So, you know, I mean, if I pick up an MP44, then I'll never be hurting for ammo.
I mean, could you conceivably finish the level with the Sten and the Kar 98K?
Conceivably, yes. You would have to be extremely easy on your ammo, and that sounds like a wonderful way to get your ass killed.
Just like that guy peeking around the corner to see if everything was okay.
Pretty much. The sound stuff. Oh, now I have a bullet in my brain.
As far as last words go, that's probably not something you want on your tombstone.
This entire level is going to be more or less like this. This klaxon annoyingly bleeding in our ears, coming around all of these corridors.
Occasionally interrupted by some guy yelling at us in German.
Pretty much. This is more or less the entire level, and it's going to go on for another 20 minutes or so. You can understand why people aren't too thrilled when they have to play this level.
Still better than the damn mission in Duke Nukem Forever.
Fair enough. You got me there.
I still maintain that this is where the game designers forgot they were making a game which they touted as No Man Fights Alone, and thought they were making Return to Castle Wolfenstein.
Because fighting alone is exactly what you're going to do this entire mission. I spawned with no allies, and I will not have any allies until the very, very, very end.
Utterly stupid.
Sie sind vom britischen SAS. Nehmt keine Gefangenen. Ich wiederhole, keine Gefangenen.
Utterly stupid was also what I just did, blowing myself up with that grenade.
Well, it wasn't going to hit anybody else, and it'd be a horrible shame to waste it.
Shut up, Roboguy.
Sie sind vom britischen SAS. Nehmt keine Gefangenen. Ich wiederhole, keine Gefangenen.
You actually don't have to go this far over. I was just seeing if I could scavenge some health.
That's my one lasting memory of playing this level, is scavenging for health packs. That and ammo.
Well, if you weren't shooting all the Germans, they wouldn't be using all the health packs up.
Sie werden angegriffen. Alle Mann in Kampfbereitschaft. Erschießt jeden Eindringling.
Freaking jerks! I mean, at least the first time they gave you a barrel to say, "Oh, hey, you're going to be shooting people," but that time they didn't even provide me any cover.
They'll just come running out in the big old German conga line again.
I will keep throwing those grenades.
Sie sind vom britischen SAS. Nehmt keine Gefangenen. Ich wiederhole, keine Gefangenen.
And they leave their health packs lying in the corners.
Hey, I'm picking up the ones that those dudes drop.
I know, but just like, how lazy is it? They just leave their health packs just lying around like that.
Oh.
It's like OHS.
I like to think that the safety inspector from High Command came in here and was just like, these turbines are very unsafe. You need to put a first aid kit in this corner, just in case somebody gets their hand cut in it. And then, Jesus!
And make sure to very clearly label. Yeah, God. Make sure to label everywhere turbine and.
Yeah, and the base commander is just like, well, don't you have a suggestion? We can just make it safer? And they're like, no.
German efficiency.
God, all of these corridors.
And all of these Germans in them.
They jump out. It's very much like, a police academy shooting gallery, only, if you die, you have to play the next 5 minutes of it over.
It makes you wonder how they got the rest of the game so right, and then so utterly messed this level up in terms of level design.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say this is the only one they mess up, but they do a great job on the final British mission. That one is freaking great. I mean, you don't fight with a ton of allies or anything, but it's very satisfying. There's great set pieces, and you have at least one ally that you can feel close to. I don't know what brain malfunction sees in them.
Probably just a different map designer for the and scenario designer for this particular level, I guess.
Eindringlinge, Sektor 6, Ebene B entdeckt.
Oh shit. I'm bad at grenade.
Thank goodness for indestructible crates, right?
Yeah, thank God.
Britische SAS-Einheiten haben den Land betreten. Feindliche Truppen sind durchgebrochen.
I can just hear all of the people yelling at me for not shouldering my SMG in all of these areas. I still maintain that what I'm doing is best simply because it means I can fire a split second earlier.
Yeah, I always find when I play games where you can switch into like iron sights or sights or whatever, I always end up getting shot first because I always go into the sides.
If their soldiers were properly modeled, you know, it wouldn't be that big of a deal simply because if you shot them in the hand, they would shoot you back, and then you would want to shoulder your SMG so you killed the bastards. But that is not the case here.
Yeah, it's just, you know, any port in a storm, basically, any bullet in a German.
Yeah, they'll be stunned for like 3 or 4 seconds, and then I can just kill them at my leisure.
There's a very nice looking set of lights on the dam too. I thought that was pretty impressive.
Say what you want about the Germans, they do have a sense of interior decorating.
Yeah, and the stone walls, jeez.
And here's the power room that our briefing mentioned. This place sucks. This place has the corpses of so many players on it.
It's too bad this game came out before the days where they could accurately gather hotspot data from where people die.
This place would be blood red if they could.
Just a sea of red pouring out the doors.
Well, I mean, just look at it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 corridors of attack here. You are all alone, and there are at least 5, 6 Germans. I mean, right there, I just got so skittish about the situation. I just plain backed off.
And then 2 guys still managed to like almost get the drop on you.
And also emptied a mag randomly in front of you. But
yeah, that was part of my plan. That was suppressive fire.
it's what, yourself?
Suppressive fire in a game where we've already said they don't understand suppression.
Hey, at least if they popped up out of nowhere, I would already have bullets in the air. I am defending my actions here.
Sergeant Evans just told them, like, oh yeah, you know, perfectly clean kills, you know, got through, no worries. No one had to know he ran around screaming, firing wildly in the air.
That is the benefit to fighting alone, I suppose. I'm just really paranoid really paranoid that while I was over here trying to set some bombs, there would have been some dude who charged in and just played. This is the other area where the sniper rifle would be really handy, but carrying it all the way through that dam is actually a really big liability. So, MP44 it is.
Yeah, you had that one long corridor where it would have been handy, but that really did seem to be about it.
Mm-hmm.
You've got like 4 Germans all swarming around the corner at you. You don't really want to be taking your time to line up each shot.
This is the only area where you get something resembling a break from the noise and klaxons, because they actually do have it only produced inside the dam itself.
Hopefully when we blow up the electricity, the power station, we won't have to worry about that anymore.
Nah, no.
Oh, we will.
It's got its own power source. They knew what was required, what was important to them.
That thing will continue to shout until we leave this place.
There'll be this, like, in the later campaigns, like, this guy will be a boss, and will just be a German with a siren on his back and a loudspeaker in one hand.
I would legitimately think more of this game.
I would love that, if only for the catharsis of being able to kill him.
that would make it Wolfenstein, wouldn't it?
Oh my god. I'm enjoying just thinking about that.
Uh-oh. This is the trauma this game inflicts on people. Damn, that is such a nice night dam.
Yeah, it really is. You know, I hadn't stopped to appreciate it until you said something, but it really is.
I don't get the flags draped on it, though. The Nazi flags. It's like, we just gotta drape our flag on everything, just in case someone forgets we're in Germany and that we are the Nazis.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I sort of forgot that in the Chateau mission, where I thought we were in France, but we were actually in Bavaria.
Well, you know, I don't know the difference.
It's close enough, isn't it?
I've never been to Europe before. It's all Greek to me, which is also in a completely different location.
Oh man. So now, as though it wasn't bad enough that we had to climb all the way down the dam, we now have to climb all the way back up.
Now that is a terrible idea.
This is, I think, why I despise this level. Is not, had they not made you do the whole thing twice, I probably would have been able to say, okay, yeah, poor decisions were made. It's the having to completely reverse your course, and there are no shortcuts. You are literally completely backtracking, and there's no reason for it. Nowadays, you'd never get away with it. You would never get away with it nowadays in game design.
Yeah, I saw that tunnel. I thought we were just going to leave by that tunnel.
No, you really wouldn't. I mean, IGN, the eminently most bribable critics on the planet, would still say that sucks.
No, I'd still give it a 9 out of 10 though.
They would, but they'd at least have the common courtesy to say it sucks.
It sucks. 9 out of 10.
Uh-huh.
Sounds about right for modern games journalism.
Eindringlinge, Sektor 6, Ebene B entdeckt.
Schutz finden!
That's really the only way to advance anything resembling safely without any allies to soak up any bullets. You know, all I can do is lead with grenades.
And dance the occasional tango with a guy who just won't stand still.
Pretty much. On the upside, I am able to get a little bit of use out of the MP44, which is kind of cool.
Very, very sexy weapon.
It really is. The translator that I'm using for all of this often jokes with me about German superiority during World War II. I mean, he's absolutely not serious, but we throw jokes around about it, and this was the one time, you know, he was just like, MP44 German superiority. I couldn't argue with him, even in jest. I couldn't argue with him.
Yeah, well, you know, you've got a choice between a really excellent gun or a pipe with the trigger.
Although I must say that by the end of the war, the Germans were copying the Sten in desperation, so there's obviously some merit to it.
There absolutely is. I mean, when you're talking about improvised weapons and everything, the Sten is a brilliant design. It's just that you don't want to take it into, you know, a very serious battlefield. You want to use it for partisan actions.
SAS-Einheiten hat sich durchgetrieben.
There are just so many Germans. I always feel like there should be 3 times as many corpses as there actually are for the number of people I feel like I'm killing. And the number of people that jump out at me like that asshole.
I'd be worried to be standing around waiting to ambush a guy around all the corpses of my fellows like that.
So would I, but it doesn't seem to bother these guys, and they're still all carrying automatic weapons that can kill me in under a second, so it terrifies the hell out of me. It's like, you notice, every time I hit a corner, I stop, I lean, I stop, I lean.
Zweite und 5. Kompanie sofort zum Parkplatz. Der Feind hat die Garnison überrannt und zerstört die Transporter.
That guy on the loudspeaker is just saying, is this a siren getting annoying for anybody else?
British Commando. We have captured your commanding officer and secured the exit. You have no hope of escape. Keep up now, and we will spare the lives of you and
So, this is one of those times where you really miss out because they don't translate the German. What the guy actually said right before I took up there was something about reinforcement companies to the parking lot, which implies that your commanding officers, like Captain Price, are out there stealing a truck to get out of there. Then he lies to you and is just like, we'll spare your life, when he was just saying, no prisoners.
He's getting a little desperate here. Oh, siren jet.
He's still not going to shut up. I mean, he considers it his God-given duty to piss us off.
That's psychological warfare, isn't it?
Yeah, if he stops talking, they'll send him out here to try and fight you, and he knows he hasn't got much of a chance.
Very much just moan your way through.
You know what? That being the case, I totally understand. Yeah, I'm sorry, loudspeaker guy. You are truly the big victim here. Everybody else is at least dead. You've got to live with the fact that you're an annoying twat.
Andy knows it.
Der Feind hat die Garnison überrannt und zerstört die Transporter. Zweite und fünfte Kompanie sofort zum Parkplatz. Der Feind hat die Garnison überrannt und
Almost out of here.
So close. I can taste it.
Yeah, this is one of the areas where I think a lot of people would also be blood red simply because you're so close you can taste it. But I'm almost positive that there are still a couple more Germans who can totally kill the shit out of you.
Wir werden angegriffen. Alle Mann in Kampfbereitschaft. Erschießen
That's what they're paid to do.
I might be wrong. Oh no, wait, there they are.
I was going to say, it would be poetic justice. You get to the final door, and then, of course, there's one German, or in this case, three Germans with MP40s that will just fill at you.
One of them had a car, I think. But yeah, the other two had MP40s, and either one of them could have just completely slaughtered you.
Die sind vom britischen SAS. Nehmt keine Gefangenen. Ich wiederhole, keine Gefangenen.
Evans, good man, in the truck, hop on!
Phew. Okay, so now we finally got some allies back. Just ran that dude over. Good job, Price.
There's two things the British military do well. It's stealing vans and hitting things.
Both of those things are in very good use right now.
Exactly.
So, after that total shitfest, we now have something that's really fun again. Instead of Sergeant Moody's wild ride, this is Captain Price's wild ride.
Also, possibly one of the most fun, but one of my most hated missions.
You ready, mates? Take this panzer fast. There. You do know what to do with it, don't you? Turn behind us.
This is ridiculously fun just because of how many things you get to blow the fuck up. But it's also ridiculously difficult to get through without dying.
Just well, you have an inexhaustible supply of Panzerfausts.
And Sergeant Waters is all about serving those damn things up.
Here you go.
Sergeant Waters is just he's Santa Claus and it's destroy everyone Christmas.
You just have to make it across. It's booby traps to blow when we do. Damn it! Soggy bastard!
This level just has everything. You start out with a Bren gun and you're shooting the crap out of things. And then you get a Panzerfaust and you shoot the crap out of things. And then you get a sniper rifle and you shoot the crap out of things.
It's almost as if they felt they had to make up for the previous level.
Those guys don't even look like they're firing half the time, like at you. It looks like they're just sort of firing straight ahead as they go across.
Well, now that guy's trying to shoot Sergeant Waters. I wonder if just the previous level was done by, one of the creator's sons or something like that, so they couldn't take it out. But all of the real level designers were just like, okay, now we've got to redeem ourselves.
There's, like, behind a hidden, like, behind a cupboard, there's by Billy, age 8. I do so love the Bren gun. The Bren gun actually has an important place in Australian World War II history. I might as well go into it now. A fella like on the Kokoda Trail, which was when the Japanese tried to push from the very north of Papua New Guinea down to Port Moresby in the south, essentially cut Australia and America off from one another strategically, which would have been a pretty big deal at the time. And the Kokoda Trail was just this huge track that just ran from the north down to the south, and the Australians were holding it against the Japanese, and were very likely going to get overrun. The battalion HQ was going to get, where it was set up at the time, was going to get taken over. And they launched a counterattack on the advancing Japanese forces, and one of these guys was a fellow by the name of Private Bruce Steele Kingsbury.
Still the greatest name ever.
First name Bruce, middle name Steele. And he got the VC, he died in the battle, unfortunately, killed by a sniper as the Japanese were running in terror from him because he was basically running through the jungle with a Bren gun at his hip, just mowing them down. They believed that he killed upwards of 30 Japanese soldiers alone, while all the other Australian soldiers were back in below. It's just...
There is nothing manlier than that story for this fucking video.
So yes, a fellow I talked to, he's quite a gun nut. Tells me that the Bren gun is ideal for that sort of thing because it is a terrible machine gun for suppression because it just fires way too accurately.
I was literally going to say that the chief complaint, because the British forces, although we changed the caliber from 303 to 762, used Bren in various different names up till Operation Desert Storm in 91, and the chief complaint was that as a automatic weapon, it was too accurate to suppress.
Yeah, he explained it to me that they used to wear down the front just so that the bullets would spray out a little more wild.
I believe that. It sounds like exactly the sort of jury rigging that goes on.
The bloody hell's he doing? My God, we've made it. I don't bloody believe it.
Thank you for your vote of confidence, Waters. A lot of the quotes that they show you on these victory screens are kind of chintzy, but showing a John Wayne quote just really caps it for me.
Where the rest of the team has assembled, they radioed that they're finding us an escape plane.
I mean, I'm guessing they're randomised, aren't they?
They're pulled from a database. They're not set up permission or anything.
Oh man, I'm loving the drift on these German trucks too. I guess they take
And for what it's worth, when we ran out of Panzerfaust in the last mission, that was scripted to happen at a specific point. It's not like you have only 12 Panzerfausts or whatever. It just happens always at that point you run out of Panzerfausts. And if you're already holding one, Waters will be a jackass, pick up the last one, and then fire it at the ground. He'll just be like, "We're out! That's the last of the Panzerfaust!" And he fires it just wildly. He never hits anything. Like, thanks, asshole!
He tries to rocket jump. And to the person that was complaining about us not using an armored AA turret.
Oh boy. So yeah, we were talking about, you know, all of the times when they force you to man a turret and they don't give you protection from small arms fire. Here's another time.
At least this one's nice and automatic.
All the planes crashing and exploding and everything's beautiful.
Oh, this turret section I actually do like a lot. I mean, it's just so satisfying. You nail one of those Stukas and then they just flash in an ardent blaze of terror. Of course, you do get flanked from the side like this, and they will kill the crap out of you.
Though admittedly, this is slightly overkill using 420 mm flak V8 against a truck.
Yeah, I mean, you can turn the flak over to that side, but the flak turns pretty slowly as you're seeing right there. I would much rather just keep them pointing at the Stukas. Because if you fail to shoot one of those Stukas, they will strafe you with their cannon, and then they'll drop like a low-yield bomb. And that will do an insane amount of damage to you, and if you miss two of them, they will blow up the flak Veerling, and by that point, even if you're not dead when the gun explodes, you're dead because you can no longer shoot down any Stukas.
Okay, so it doesn't just fail the mission when it gets destroyed, it's just you have no passive mission, essentially.
Yeah, you've got no way to deal with the Stukas, so you will die.
Out of here! In the truck! We've run out of time! We've got to go!
Come on, boys!
Now!
Back in the truck! Our plane is ready!
I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to get in the truck.
They just won't let you in. It's the No Coolguy Truck Club.
Yeah.
There they are! That's our plane! Blimey, she's a beauty!
So this entire time we had this large team of SAS guys, but none of them came to our rescue at all. I mean, we did that entire mission, and all they figured out was, our ride home. Damn it.
Hey, at least you got a ride home. Otherwise, you'd be sitting around waiting for a whole bunch of very angry Germans in Germany to come and get the guy who just blew up half of their everything.
That's a fair point. But as long as I was far, far away from Mr. Loudspeaker, I'd be okay with it.
He was coming. You could hear it in the distance.
Oh my god.
Getting closer and closer.
Well, the good news is, everybody, that was the low point of the game. It only gets better from here. It isn't to say that there aren't a couple of missions still that I wish would change, but that was the low point of it, and everything is much better.
What's not to love? I'm not the one playing it, obviously, but it didn't feel too bad. I mean, I thought the backtracking was a little, that's kind of silly. Would have thought there should have been a better way to get around that, but it's a giant dam. What can you do? They probably went, well, how can we make this work?
I don't know. I think there's some stuff where, just as basic designers, there are things that you must realise, there are things you don't do. But I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's the first game of the series. As far as I'm aware, they never repeated that similar thing in the rest of the Call of Duty games, regardless of franchise. So obviously, they've learned something.
I think that you would do well to read a lot of the comments that show up on this video and the comments that show up in the thread, because, I mean, watching me go through this without ever dying is one thing. Trying to play it yourself and losing a bunch of time to millions and millions of deaths, that's entirely another. Anyway, with that said, we'll go ahead and leave it there until we see you next time at the much better mission that the SAS gives you. And until then, I've been Coolguy.
I have been the Last Robokai.
And I've been Skillness622.
Take good care of yourselves and all those you love, folks.